Welcome to Upcycle Friday Fun with Laura, part of WPSU's Virtual Summer Camp. And today we're going to be upcycling using some pieces from fruits and vegetables. So stay tuned for that. Now I just got back from the grocery store and I brought some fruits and vegetables home with me to use for dinner this week. And I started thinking about fruits and vegetables. They're all different colors, they're so pretty. But what makes a fruit and what makes a vegetable? Well, fruits come from a flower or a blossom on the tree, which has a seed, and then the seed develops into the fruit. This also means that fruits have seeds inside, so that if this fell to the ground and it wasn't picked, then eventually it would rot and decay, and the seeds would go down into the earth, and small little sprigs of apple trees would come up. It takes a long time to do that, but that's what happens. But then I wonder, do you think this is a fruit or a vegetable? What about this? This is a bell pepper, and it is actually a fruit, believe it or not. It doesn't grow in a tree, it grows on the ground, but it comes from a blossom, and inside there are seeds for the bell pepper. And the same thing with this cucumber. It grows from a blossom, see the end? And it develops into a cucumber of many sizes. This one's really large, but there are smaller ones too that you get at the grocery store and the farmer's market. Now, vegetables are root plants. Vegetables have leaves, stalks or stems, roots, and a bulb or bulbs. This is a radish. We actually cut the root off and cut the top off and eat the radish itself. You can slice it up and eat it just like that, or you can put it into a salad. And this is a bunch of celery. When you get it in the store, you see this right here, and what has happened is the celery has grown up and developed. First it looked like these little offshoots right here, but then it developed into this bunch of celery. Now if we took this and cut it off and used this part, but we have this left over, instead of throwing it away, we can put this in a dish of water, and in a few days roots will come out. And then in a few more days, these little stalks of celery will start to come out. And if you're patient enough, you can actually grow them large enough to cut them off and eat them. Let's take a look at the inside of some of these fruits and vegetables. So the first one I want to show you is the bell pepper. It has a stem on the top, and then you have the flesh of the fruit with the seeds inside. So I'm going to cut this off, the top off, so that you can see all of the little seeds. Now each one of these could possibly be a new bell pepper plant, but we don't eat the seeds usually. Let's look at an avocado. This one's interesting. I'm going to slice this in half all the way around. Woo, that just wants to come apart. Now let's look and see what's on the inside. This is the seed of an avocado. Now, this is the part that we eat in here. We throw the skin away, and this part is what we eat. Now, if I take this, see the bottom of this, how it's different? And I can put little toothpicks in 3 places around it and put it into a cup of water, and the roots will eventually come down from here. Now, once it gets enough roots, then you can take this and you can plant it in dirt, and it will grow into a plant. Well, that one's messy. Let's take a look at cucumber. Now look at that. When I open that, see the seeds inside right here, the little seeds? That's why we call a cucumber a fruit, because it came from a blossom of a plant and it has seeds inside. Let's see. Next we have, let's look inside of this Brussels sprout. So I'm going to slice it this way. Ooh. And look. Now these are like little cabbages. So you see there's the central stalk coming up the middle, and then the leaves start to develop on the outside, and it will just continue to get bigger and bigger. But they have a great flavor when they're small like this. So that's why we pick them at this stage. And this is a clementine. Now this clementine, I believe, is seedless, or it might have one or two. But see all the sections of the oranges? Ooh, that smells marvelous. Let's compare that to a lemon. Here's the clementine, and here's the lemon. And look at this, I could even pick these seeds out. Our upcycle activity today will use some of the fruits and the vegetables that I got from the store. Now some of these, like the lemon, we can actually take some of the pulp out, and this is going to be used as a stamp. We're going to put some paint on it and stamp it onto a piece of paper. The green pepper, we can use the outside edge and put paint on it and use it as a stamp. The stalk of celery, I really want to use the ends of it. See the little half circles? I think that would make a fun stamp. And then we could maybe even use some of the leaves as a stamp to make the stems of the plant. So for this, you will need whatever fruits and vegetables you have around the house. If you happen to have a potato, you could always take the potato and cut it in half and actually make whatever design you want on it. But I'm going to use like 5 different kinds to show you what it looks like. You'll need some paper. It could either be some craft paper, construction paper. It could be even a piece of newspaper. I think would look kind of cool. And paint. We can't forget the paint. So that's about it. I'm going to get set up and we'll get started on our craft. My fruit and vegetable slices are ready to go. And now we're going to mix up some colors. So remember from last time, we had the blue and the yellow and the red paint. So I want to try to make a purple again. So I'm going to put down some red and blue, and we'll mix those up, and it's going to make a nice purple. Okay, maybe just a little more blue. There we go. That's the purple I'm looking for. Okay, rinse my brush out. And then I also want to make some green. I'm going to be making some flowers for my design today. So I'll put down some yellow and blue, and we'll start to mix this up and make some green paint. Whoa, look at that. Perfect. I love it. Okay. Now, the other color, that I think I just want some plain yellow maybe. And some plain blue. All right. So now we have our paints mixed up. I'm going to get our piece of paper in place. The first thing that I'm going to make are the flowers on this. So I'm going to start out with this clementine, and I did squeeze some of the juice out, and I pulled some of the sections out so maybe we can see it a little bit better. So instead of using, I'm going to use, I guess, this paintbrush, and I'm just going to dab this on, kind of brush this. Look at that. Brush it on the top, all the way, get all the edges that are sticking up. That's pretty cool. Now, if you get too much, you can take a cloth, a paper towel or something and wipe it, pat it, and get some of it off. But let's try our first one. Ready? Okay, there's our first impression. Now, I'm just going to do one more, because I think flowers usually have 1 or 2 or 3 on a stem, and we'll overlap it maybe and put it down like that. Okay, and then maybe just one more down here. Ooh, okay. All right, now next I think we're gonna have maybe one big flower with this green pepper. And for that one, I'm gonna use yellow. Now, my paintbrush, instead of using that this time, let me just see how it works to use my finger to put this on. You can also take it and like dip it down into the paint. But we'll try this way and see how it works. There we go. Get lots of paint on there. Goopy, goopy. Okay. Oh, I'm going to put a little bit more there. Now I'm actually, when I turn this over, I'm going to push it in a little bit so that it has more edges to it. You'll see what I mean. So we'll lay this down. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take this apart and just use part of it. And I'm going to stamp it like that, so that like one flower is behind the other. That worked pretty well. You put a little bit more on. Okay. Maybe like that. Yep. So then what I can do is I can use something else, like maybe this broccoli. And you know what? Maybe we'll use some orange. So I'll take the yellow and I'll add a little bit of red to it. We don't need very much. We're gonna make up like an orangey color. Whoop, I actually need more yellow. There we go. Now this I want to be the center of this flower. So I'm just gonna try to take the broccoli and roll it around in here. Try to get lots of edges and go maybe a little bit more, and then do the same thing here. See all the different textures we can get? All right. And the last one I'm going to try to use is this onion. So let me make that one blue. So we have purple, yellow, orange, and now blue. And this one, I am going to just dip it down in there and see how that method works, because we're all about experimenting to see how things work. Oh, looks like I need to wipe some of that off. There we go. See, now it's looking more like the veins in an onion, which is what we want. So we'll put one here. Ooh, interesting. Do it again. And one up here. Wow. You see how the pattern in the onion now transfers to the pattern on the paper? Now we can come back with our radish, which I've cut in half to kind of make a circle, see? And I want to do something in the center here. Maybe I'll use some more purple and do that. So put it in there and we'll go boop, like that. Ooh, I like how that turns out. And then we'll do the same thing over here. We'll do one up here and one up here. There we go. You know, that would also be interesting to maybe take some blue and dump the radish in there and go in the center of these. Huh? What do you think? All right, so the next thing we're gonna work on is the stems. We'll start by working with our green paint, and I'm going to use our paintbrush and paint the flat surface of this celery, and we're gonna use that as a stem. So we'll just go straight down. This might take a little bit because celery's watery anyway. We'll try this and see how it works. Okay, maybe we'll start here. Did that work? Well, it sort of worked. But you know, I think we can just take the paint. We're gonna cheat a little bit and we're just gonna put the paint on there. All right, so there's a stem for this one. Maybe go up a little like that. And up here. Maybe have a stem come down for this one. And that big one that's in the background. And then one more. And then we can also come back and make them a little darker. But we can make some stalks that come out from there too. Right? Now, this is going to be another experiment. This is from the celery. These are the celery leaves. I'm going to peel one of these off and use the underside of it because it has all the veining in it, and put it into the green paint. Then I'm going to take the green paint and use it as a stamp and just put it down like that. Well, I'm going to wipe that one off. I'm not so sure I like that. Let's try this instead. Oh, that's better. That's going to dry better. And then we're just going to make some leaves. All right. So there you go. So then when this is all dry, you can also come back with some markers and add a little bit more detail to this. The other way that you can do these vegetable and fruit stamps is to make patterns on them, and then you can use this as wrapping paper, or you can cut it in the shape to put around a can, or lots of different things like that. So a pattern is when something repeats over and over again. Like a pattern could be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A pattern could be 2, 1, 2, 1, or it could even be 2, 2, 2. Understand? We're going to start this out with that stamp, and then maybe a cucumber. And our orange. And then what we would need to do, we could come down with our Brussels sprout. Maybe put one here. And then the cucumber, do you know where it'll go? It'll go here. Then what do you think is next? Right, that would be our clementine. That would go here. So you see, I'm starting to make a diagonal pattern. Here, here, and here. And then we would come back and we would start again. We could make a new pattern, or we could come back with this one and do one here and then do the cucumber there and move all the way through. So then we just finish this out, the whole thing, and you have a pattern. The pattern goes this way, and it also goes this way. And it also goes this way. Well, thanks for joining me today, and I hope that you have fun making your fruit and vegetable stamps. And in the meantime, you can go to WPSU and find more videos and find more activities at WPSU's Virtual Summer Camps. Ask your grown-up to go to wpsu.org/virtual camps. See you next time.